All right, good day. My name is Peter Olubayo, and today I'm going to be talking about how to answer matching headings under exam condition. So what are you going to do if you were to be in an exam condition? So I will run through the top tips for matching headings, and we'll have a practice section using Cambridge IELTS 12 Test 5 Passage 3. Okay, and that is the exact reason why we are here. I'm going to go into answering that question as if I'm just in an exam condition. Okay, so if you are under an exam condition, matching heading, the aim is still that you need to identify the main idea in the paragraph and you want to identify it. Now, as much as that is the aim for most matching headings, there are times that you think that they are going away from what you think the ideal main idea of that paragraph is. But then at the end of the day, whatsoever, it will still be one of the focus sentences in that paragraph. So bear in mind. So they are testing your speed essentially, your comprehension of a passage or that paragraph, and how you can quickly summarize the information before you. All right. So it is advisable to treat this question first. It comes as the first if you have it in a passage. So it comes first and it is advisable for you to treat it first. Why? Because this question it might be time consuming, might need you to understand the paragraph more. So by so doing, you will have been able to gain information about the passage as it were and be able to identify the next question type very quickly. For instance, if you are now treating true, false, not given, yes, no, not given after this question type, you would have come across something related to the statement they are going to give you. All right. So, and then avoid looking. So avoid the temptation of looking at the given headings first. Now, what that will do to you is that you are not supposed to work from the list of headings you've been given to what you think the headings are. You are to work rather from what you think the headings are. You are giving that paragraph a heading, and then you now look at what paragraph matches, what list of headings that you have matches what you have in mind. Or if you work the other way around, you'll be confused. I can bet it with you. So you will skim through the passage to understand the general theme just in 2-3 minutes, like you always do for every IF passage, because it comes first. You haven't seen that before. Okay. Now read and try to sum up the general meaning for each paragraph. I've talked about that. And then create a word. There will be a focus sentence in your mind. Just bear in mind. Okay. After you have identified that something like a focus or foci in that paragraph, this is the time to look at the best match to the question, what you have in the list of headings. Now, importantly, it's okay for you to choose more than one heading when you are looking at the best match, because, but as you move down the line, you'll be able to say this fits more into this than what I've chosen in it initially. So just make sure you review later. Now, these other parts of my tips are also very important. The reason is that a lot of people fail list of headings because they are fearful. They just don't want to see it. Okay, but you don't have to panic. All the answers you need to tell yourself they are already in front of you. It's just a mindset for every IELTS question type. Time is the major enemy here. So resist the temptation of reading through everything, except that is your strategy. Some people have the strategy of going through the whole paragraph or the whole passage so they have an idea of what the passage is talking about, which will help them in answering every other question type. But if your aim is just to get this right, just focus on the key sentences, okay? Now, it's okay here, unlike in true false not given, where you are not allowed to over rationalize. Feel free to speculate some answers here. If you can't see it, move on to the next one. The reason why I have to make mention of that is because this same list of headings carries equal mark with any other question type that you are more comfortable with. So if you cannot quickly identify it, choose something, asterisk that question and move on so you can be able to answer it and you can finish on time. So time, don't forget, time management is a key strategy for IELTS. Then it's also important for you to identify what worked best for you, not in the examination hall, but during your practice. What most people do is that they have a strategy in mind for list of headings, but because they are panicking and they are confused, they start looking at, okay, probably I should just read the first sentence, the second sentence, and the last sentence in the paragraph. And then when they start that, then they say, ah, I cannot see it. They start reading the whole paragraph and then it leads to chaos. All right. So I'm going to move on to that Cambridge passage now and attempt it as though I am in an exam condition. I'm going to share my PDF screen showing that portion of the Cambridge IELTS. Now, it doesn't matter if you have treated this question before. I have this question before me. What's the purpose of gaining knowledge? That's the passage. What's the purpose of gaining knowledge? Now, and I have the list of headings before me. Now, in an exam hall, I will assume that this does not exist in the first place. Okay, and I look at what I need to do. And to find question 27 to 32, want me to find the best match for 27, 28 to 32. What's the purpose of gaining knowledge? I read through, skim through quickly, reading the first, probably just the first and the last, or where I think I need to do more, I just read through just quickly, just for me to have an overview of what it's all about. Now, I'm looking at my time too. Okay, so I would find an institution where any person can find instruction in any subject. That was the founder motto for Cornell University. Okay, so that's talking about the motto. Any undergraduate who have met the academic requirement can sign up for the course in our program in fire science. That seems to me as though they're talking about the motto behind such university. Now, at this point, it's not as though I want to understand everything, okay? Naturally, the course is intended for prospective all-sane investigators who can learn all the tricks of the trade for detecting whether a fire was deliberately set, discovering, so the purpose of the course, that's what this place is talking about. I'm not reading any other thing apart from that first line. I realized this anew. Now, because I saw this statement, I realized this anew. So, what is this? That would take me back to what is this? You understand? I need to know what the this is talking about. Okay. So, what is the this? This is talking about, however, it is unknown for a firefighter to touch a building. So it's just an example of dishonest or illegal behavior. So that means along the line in paragraph B, when they were talking about the purpose of prospective Olsen investigators joining that course, they talked about something illegal. So I'm going to bear that in mind. So I realized this anew when I was invited to speak for a class. So this writer was invited to speak for a class. What has he done? There are endless ways I could have approached that assignment, but I took my cue from the, so it was talking about principles of marketing. Okay. So I will move on from that. I'm going to move on. Indeed, is that obvious? So I need to know what is that thing that is talking about being obvious as well. I made a suggestion which may sound downright crazy in light of evidence that perhaps marketing is by definition principle. So it was talking about marketing being principle there. So let us apply both the term means and end to marketing. So there are two terms he was introducing here. And I'll go to the last one. Students need to study both how to achieve X and also what X is. So I'm assuming if marketing or Olsen is a, or marketing is the issue here, we need to study both means and end. That's what I'm assuming here. Okay, now, if at this point that hustling for profit becomes supremely relevant, okay, so he's making a point here. That course is presumably all about means. Okay, I'll go to the last one. We will say that we will say that one is practicing medicine, the other mother. What is he trying to say here? So I'll go back. But we will not call that firefighting something of firefighting. Then similarly, if you employ the principle of marketing in an unprincipled way, you will not be doing marketing. We have another term for it, fraud. Okay, so it compared doctor and a poisoner. All right, so I have an understanding what this passage is all about. So remember, the main thing here is what is the meaning. Let me see. What's the aim of? What's the purpose of gaining knowledge? Okay, so I have an idea already from this passage that is talking about how people can sign up for a course, learn it, and a means and a end, and he compared the two people at the end of the day that there might be different outcomes for whatever learning we have. So I have done that now. So I'll go to paragraph A. Okay. I said what I'm thinking here is a purpose or something. Yeah. Why they founded the university. Okay, so this is a time for me to, so he said, I'm going to highlight things now. Bear with me. Okay, so he said any undergraduate who have met the academic requirement can sign up for the course programs fire science. Now, one thing that will help you a lot in this is assuming you understand the meaning of these vocabs, this all saying. If you understand these vocabs, it would have guided what this whole passage is talking about. But I'll assume that I don't know in case you find a word, okay? But I assume I don't know the meaning of this word at all. So now, so I'll go to motto. Okay, let's see. Is there anything like that here? Now, so I'll now go to my list of headings. This one is talking about courses, high level of commitment. Did I come up? So still talking about a course, a title, and two meanings, okay? Equal significance of two key issues. I'm already thinking of means and end there, okay? Now applying a theory. So a theory, unexpected context, financial benefit of studying, okay? Financial benefit, a surprising course title. So you can see a course title for us is surprising, different names for different outcomes. Now, right away, I'm already thinking that for question 32, that would be 7. Why? Because they were mentioning poisoners, they were mentioning doctors, and they were dealing with the same thing. The possibility of attracting the wrong kind of student. Okay, now I will go back to this text. So for section A, because I saw this, I'm already thinking, is it all about student? But if you look at here, naturally the course is intended for prospective Olsen investigators. Okay, who can lie? I'm already thinking in line of this is probably for it's all about students, either this section A or section B, who can lie all tricks. So I'm looking for a sentence that is focal here, that is key here. So now, blah, 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 blah. But wouldn't this also be perfect cause for prospective assignments to sign up for? Now, I don't know what this means, but I'm thinking they are intended for something, people who can investigate detecting fire, whether it was deliberately set up. You understand? But this one is saying it might be a perfect course for people who might use it for criminal activity. That's what I'm thinking now. My point, so you can see from here, I'm able to link it to which one now? Yeah, the possibility of attracting the wrong student. I literally look for, I already know that it is talking about the purpose of this course. Do you get what I mean? So let me write on here. I find section B to be 8. Sorry, this is going to take my time as well. Okay. Now section A, because it also have course in it. I'm thinking, okay, they talk about, it was talking about a course where people can learn anything and all that. Now, I'm looking at these two, okay, and this is another course. Now, I go into, it's now, this is why I'm doing this. It's far away from, I have not seen what I have in mind. The motto, what brought about the establishment of Cornell University. That is not what they are talking about now. So I'm now looking at what else is a focus sentence here. But don't forget that I didn't read here when I was reading. So I come here, but what would the founders of these two institutions have thought of a course called Hustling for Profit? I kid you not, we have it on the books. Now, I'm already looking at, this is a focus sentence. I kid you not, something, let me say, you are not expecting it, let's say, and this is, so out of these three, a course that require high level, they didn't mention anything like this. A course title with 2 minutes, that's not what we are dealing with now. A surprising course title. I'm going to put that here now, okay? I'll go to the next one. Let me erase them rather than, I'll go to the next one. Section C. Now, I said that he was talking about, I realized this, pointing back. This word is pointing back. So I went back to this. This example suggests how dishonest and illegal behavior with the help of higher education can creep into every aspect of public and business life. That still affirmed the fact that section B was referring to possibility of attracting wrong kind of students. You get what I mean? Now, but that is not the point C is making. C is saying, I realized this anew, that people can, higher education that can make, can even lead to illegal behavior and all that. So bearing that in mind, the regulator instructor I can bring as a philosopher, there are endless ways I could have approached this assignment, but I took my cue from the title of the course, Principle of Marketing. Okay, so now this is like an app. There are endless ways, there are different ways, many ways I could approach this speaking, to speak on class in marketing. Okay, is blah blah blah. Many of the students, yeah. So now, what I'm thinking now, I will now go here. Okay, endless ways of doing something, something, something. Let's see. I'll then go into my, what was it called? I think I saw means and end somewhere here before. Want to make sure, yeah. Okay, that's section D, talking about two different things. Now, it made me think to ask, is marketing principled? So I'm looking at this place. There are endless ways I could have approached, but I took my cue from the title of the course, Principle of Marketing. Now, I'll move away from that just to make sure like I'm in an exam condition. Now, is that obvious? I made a suggestion which may sound downright crazy in the light of evidence. Okay, I'll look at that. Perhaps marketing, my inspiration for this judgment is blah, blah, blah. Any body of knowledge consists of an end or purpose and a means. Okay, now it's talking about means and end here. These C and D are very tied together. But let's look at the major issue here. He said, I'm looking at means and end. So it's between the equal importance of two key issues. Okay, that's number, no, that cannot be. Yeah, number 2. Okay, I'm looking at a course title with 2 meanings. You understand? And I'm looking at Roman numeral 4, applying a theory in an unexpected context. So yeah, I'm going to list for you. So he said may sound directly in the light of the evidence that perhaps marketing is by definition principle. My inspiration for this judgment, blah, blah, blah. Who argued that any now, if you look at downright crazy in the light of the evidence. So I'm choosing, let's say section D is that's 4. Okay. Now, and I'm going to start this. I'm going to erase all these just because I'm using computer. Let's see. Now, I move to section E. Let us apply both the terms means and end to marketing. Okay. And I said students need to study both to achieve X, that's means, and is X. So let us apply the term means and end to marketing. Okay, but to what end? The other attitude, okay, a field of knowledge and the professional is a means and end, yes. Yeah, now look at this. By both means and end, ends both deserve scrutiny. So I have means and end in mind. Okay, now let's look at, there are 2 important things, the 2 equal important, yeah. So the 2 key issues are means and end, but require scrutiny. Okay, it's not a course title with 2 meanings. That's looking like section C, the one I didn't answer before. Nothing like this. So I'm going to say this is 1, 2, 3. Now, section F, I already have something in mind before. I said different names for different outcomes. Okay, because I read here that we would say that one practicing medicine, the other. Similarly, if you employ the principles of marketing in an unprincipled way, you will not be doing marketing. Okay, so different names for different outcomes. So it's either marketing or fraud. Okay, or is you are a doctor dealing with drugs, or you are a poisoner. So I already have that right from when we started that. So this is 7. Now, I have used 6, 8, 4, 3. Now, none of them is really confusing me as it were. So now I have section C to deal with. Now, if I have time, because I was already thinking of probably it is between 2, 3, and what? 1. They didn't mention about 1 at all. Let me cross it out. No mention of 1 at all. Nothing like commitment was mentioned. Financial, this one, they never mentioned it at all. So you can as well say, okay, which one have I not used, and go and look at whatever it is, just to clear your mind, for your mind to be clear about, okay, this is what I think it is. So section C. So now don't forget I was talking about some people might be doing hustling for profit. Now I realize this, that the same cause can have different meaning. Okay, so there are endless ways I could have approached this assignment. So from the title, Principles of Marketing, so made the student is marketing principled. So they now said sense of codify. Many of the students immediately assumed that the answer to my question was obvious, just to look the ways in which everything under the sun has been marketed. It need not to be done. Okay, so I'm still going to take that because there are two diverse opinions here, which is a course title with two meaning. Oh dear, this is not. Yeah, so I'm going to. So having that in mind, you can see if we go back to the what's it called that I gave us, the topics I gave us. Now you will see that some of these things are like they fall out of the scope of you just identifying the topic sentence. You understand? Like this paragraph, identifying the topic sentence, then you have the list of headings. Now they went down to some focus sentences, and that is what they have brought out. But if you were to reason it as well, you will see they were tied to whatever you have in mind. Whatever you have in mind before is able to lead you to where those things could likely be. And as you can see, it helps us in identifying what the answer to this was immediately. Okay? Oh, no, sorry. Yes, this one, even this one. Okay, I think the major one we have issue with, that is me now. Had issue with was identifying B and C. Okay, then there was a topic sentence. There was a sentence here talking about scrutinizing those two things, key issues of importance. You can see here. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that and ask you if you have any question. All right, so I'm going to end the recording for people who will be seeing this later. Oh,